fuck me, he muttered. Look me in the eye and say that again. Bucket, would you like to go on a date with me since I ain't that? I think I like this little 𝘚𝘜𝘗𝘗𝘓. He flowers at us. So hello everyone, and welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. I'm 𝘧𝘳𝘪𝘦𝘮, and today is a very special day because we have another video of this extremely weird, obscure series on the internet. I have this ongoing series on my channel dedicated to weird Instagram accounts, and another one has come floating into the... So what's come into my view as of recently is an Instagram account dedicated to Bucky Barnes fanfiction. So this account is called It's Plum Writer, and they're just a little account that's dedicated to Bucky X reader POVs. And on Patreon they have longer stories. You have to pay $5.
Hell no!
What's interesting about this account is that a lot of people in the comments section will post their own little fan fictions about Bucky. I don't want to make it seem like I'm encouraging cyberbullying or anything like that, harassment. This is just a fun little series where we read weird things on weird Instagram accounts, and that's it. So let's just dive in. This is what I found. This is the reel that made me find the account. POV. Bucky hears stories about your ex, and he immediately knows he's not going to be able to get some sleep without having a chat with him. I creep out into the kitchen of the cabin, careful not to wake the others. After the last difficult mission, we had time off, and as always, I offer up my cabin. Water on hand, I'm about to creep back to bed when I hear a frustrated sigh and spot Bucky sitting on the porch swing, looking angry. Quietly, I step closer, leaning against the door. Struggling to sleep, I whisper, as his eyes flash to me, and he stands. I wave him off, and he sits down beside him. What? I wave him off and sit down beside him. Yeah, just thinking. Bucky looks down at my bare legs and drapes the quilt over me. It's cold out, he explains as my heart constricts. Being around him and feeling this way was a torture I've endured for months now. So protective, Barnes, I joke, clutching my glass of water a little too tightly. Always. Those jewel eyes. Look back at me for a long moment. I asked Nat about why you ended it with that guy. Bucky bites down, his jaw flexing as I look down. Huh? I asked Nat. Like, is he gritting his teeth? He wasn't the right fit. I shrug. He hurt you. Bucky grits out, clenching his fist. I cover his fist with mine. Don't. He met his fate. I lean back, swinging us gently. What does that mean? Bucky leans back too, a little too close. Just that I can handle myself, I turn to him and smile. But thank you for wanting to protect me. I look away and take a deep breath. That's not the only reason I ended it. I look back up at Bucky for a long moment before I stand. Get some rest. Plenty of time for you to be my knight in the morning. I run my hand over his shoulder gently before heading back in. The next morning, the breakfast table is noisy as ever, but Bucky is absent. He left early in the morning. Said he needed to speak to someone. Clint drops a kiss to the top of my head and my eyes go to Nat. Why would Clint do that? We need to go. I get up, but she shakes her head. He can control the soldier. He just wants to talk to him. Nat takes my hand, but it does little to settle my nerves. At some point, you're going to have to tell him. I look at Nat for a long time. It's not Bucky's fault. My ex needed an excuse. Me being in love with Bucky was exactly that. Nat suddenly looks behind me, and I turn to spot Bucky staring down at me, stunned. What was the last part? I think I like this little 𝘚𝘜𝘗𝘗𝘓. Oh, and there's a part 2 in the comments. It's been a week since I left Bucky and everyone else stunned with my admission. I flip on my apartment lights looking through my mail when someone bangs on my door. Reluctantly, I pull it open and look up at the accountant. What are you doing here? We broke up, remember? I sigh as he steps into the living room. You think I don't know he's following me? Call off your mutt, he snaps loudly. Watch your tone. I didn't tell him to do that. I back up as he steps closer. Do it. take one more step. Give me a reason. Bucky thunders from the doorway. Where did Bucky come from? The accountant looks between us, then snorts. Yeah, I clearly had no reason to worry. He pushes past me and steps around Bucky. She's all yours. Good luck. He flowers at us before leaving. Flowers? He flowers at us. I sigh, rolling my eyes as I see Bucky closes the door. You can go, Barnes. I'm fine. I head to my room, but Bucky follows. Why won't you talk to me? Bucky gently turns me to him. Look at me. You said you loved me. Sorry. Is that true? Bucky whispers. I don't want to do this. I step back, but he crowds me. Do you love me? Bucky asks louder now. I turn to the window, feeling my chest constrict. Doll. Okay, this is some character AI type doll, he pleads. I don't. I breathe as I turn to him, face cold. A passing infatuation. Bucky stares at me, look me in the eye, and say that again. He steps closer. Let me in. That's what you once said to me. Bucky reaches for my hands. I look down, then right back into those eyes. I don't love you. Bucky steps closer. Why lie? He whispers. I have to protect it. It's all I have left. I try to step back, but he pulls me closer. What is? Bucky cradles my face in his hands. My heart, if I say the words, it won't be mine anymore. It's be yours, and I can't. I shake as he leans in. Do you love me? Say it. Bucky's glistening eyes pin me in place as I feel it surrender. I love you. I whisper softly as my heart rips free of my chest and I shatter brilliantly. I mean, it's pretty well written point of view. Bucky starts to notice his downtime is always filled with thoughts of you, thinking of what you're up to, and whether you like him or not. Sam entered his dark bedroom and yawned. I can't force a yawn. Okay. It had been a long day, and he wanted some rest. He switched on the light, only to be startled by the sight of a man in a hoodie. He recognized him immediately after noticing the missing sleeve, revealing a metal arm. Buck. Me. He muttered. Ha! How clever, Bucky responded grumpily. You scared me, said Sam. What are you doing in here all alone? How long have you been here? Some time, Bucky replied. Seriously, you're doing this a lot, losing yourself in random thoughts. What are you even thinking about? Bucky smiled awkwardly. Sam raised his eyebrows. There we go. He understood. Bucky hadn't been the same ever since he met her. Sam sat next to Bucky on the bed. What's her name? Sam asked. Whose? Bucky responded. That girl you met at Stark's home. Nat's trainee. Bucky chuckled to himself. Your name? Well, I don't know, Sam. Why is she training with Nat? What is she up to? Well, Nat is pretty good. Do you think your name likes me? I barely know her, Buck. Besides, it's you who needs to talk to her instead of spending all your downtime thinking and daydreaming about her. Bucky pouted. And if you don't make a move, someone else will. I saw Walker lingering around. Bucky's heart started racing. The thought of losing your name to someone else was painful, but losing her to someone like Walker? Hell no, yelled Bucky as he jumped up from the bed and out of the window. Sam shouted after him, and stop lurking in my room, for gosh's sake. Go to your room as opposed to startling me all the time. This gum is chocolate mint, and it's kinda disturbing. I don't know how I feel about it. A Hydra agent recounts horrible things the Winter Soldier did right in front of you. Bucky is fully expecting you to not want to be around him after this. It had only been a simple reconnaissance mission. You and Bucky had done them countless times before. Get in, grab some intel, get out. What you didn't realize was it was an ambush. Next thing you know, you're waking up tied to a pole, Bucky next to you. Your hands are tied with rope, his with some sort of metal handcuffs. You peered into the darkness of the room, unable to see anything. In the distance, a door opened, and footsteps were heard approaching the two of you. If it isn't the asset, and it brought its little girlfriend too. The man turned on an overhead light. It was dim, but you could make out his face after your eyes had adjusted. You sized up the stranger. He was tall and muscular, and was holding a red book. What made you shiver was the sneer on his face. I don't know how do you sneer? Is that a sneer?
Well then, tell me, do you know what your partner has done? What crimes it's guilty of?
Bucky's stoic face wavered, a look of panic flashing over it for half a second before it returned to his stone-faced, emotionless glare. If you hadn't been looking closely at him, you would have missed it, but you didn't. Unfortunately, neither did your captor. He laughed, a raspy sound that was more wheeze than a laugh.
I suppose that means it's never told you. Shame, really. Here I thought relationships were built on trust and transparency.
He opened the red book and flipped through the pages, seemingly searching for something.
Well, if it won't tell you, I guess I will. Let's see how much you love your precious soldier after you hear about the atrocities it did for Hydra. Who knows, a couple of these might sound familiar.
Now Bucky was really in a panic. He started to struggle against his cuffs, desperate to get free and get to the book. The stranger just laughed and began to read out loud. I'm gonna switch to a normal voice because this is killing my throat. November 22nd, 1963. Target, John F. Kennedy. Mission successful? No witnesses. Oh my gosh! He killed John F. Kennedy! Bucky flinched like he had been slapped. He turned to you, pleading with his eyes, begging you for something. The man continues. June 17th, 1972. Target, remove President Nixon from office. Mission successful? No witnesses. Please, Bucky said softly, hanging his head as he had to listen to the list of his past crimes. December 16th, 1991. Target, Howard and Maria Stark. Retrieval of serum. Mission successful. Targets eliminated and serum acquired. Bucky was trembling. He couldn't look you in the eye. August 31st, 1997. Target, Diana Frances Spencer. Mission successful, target eliminated, staged as car accident. He never finished because you punched him square in the jaw. I think that's enough for now. Thank you. You growl softly as he goes down easy. You punch him once more just to make sure he stays down. Then you turn your attention back to your partner. Bucky? He looked up. His eyes were shiny and tears had started to stream down his face. I didn't have a choice. I whisper shakily. You gotta believe me. I didn't. You silence him with a soft kiss, which he didn't refuse. When you pull away, you look him in the eyes. That was then. That wasn't Bucky. This is now. This is my Bucky, and there is nothing any Hydra villain can say to make me stop loving you. Don't let your past define you, Buck. You start working on unlocking the handcuffs. When you finally got them free, you were pulled into a tight hug. Bucky's nose buried deep in your hair. Don't know how I ever survived without you, doll. He muttered into your hair. Love you, he whispered, kissing you on the forehead before intertwining your fingers with his. Now come on, we have a mission to finish. Okay, so, Bucky killed Princess Diana. What the hell, Bucky? Bucky's therapist can tell he has a crush on you based on his change in mood during the sessions. Okay, this comment cannot be real. The therapist tells me he has a crush on me. I find him in the living room and say, "Hey, Bucket, would you like to go on a date with me since I ain't met?" Hey, Bucket, would you like to go on a date with me? I have had a massive crush on you since I met you. He looks at me weirdly and says, first of all, don't call me Bucket, and secondly, I would love to, doll. You're the most beautiful thing I have seen. I look at him and he kisses me and says, I've had the biggest crush on you since forever, and I say, I know, love you, just going to get sorted. Bucket? Why is the Bucket so funny? I think we're done for the night. I can only read so much Bucky XB fanfiction. Let's give a round of applause to our writers tonight. We got a lot of talented writers out there. Do I think that these skills could be used towards, like, maybe something other than Bucky on an Instagram page? Yes, I do. But we had fun tonight, and that's what really matters. I say this at the end of all these videos. There is nothing wrong with if you enjoy content like this, if you enjoy reading these stories and these fan fictions. And usually these stories are pretty poorly written. This one, a lot of these were actually, you know, decent. There's nothing wrong with enjoying this. For me, it just comes from a time and a place that I'm no longer in. Even people on the comment sections on this account were like, I would have ate this up when I was 13. But, you know, I'm 23, I'm so far removed from everything Marvel that just reading this, it's like, you know, we don't shame around here. It's okay to like what you like, even if I don't like it. I think I like this little deku. Hopefully you all enjoyed. Hopefully you enjoyed the wide array of fanfiction we had for us tonight. Yeah, if you want to go give that Instagram account a follow, read some of the fanfictions yourself, you're more than welcome to. I will link down to their socials down below. So thank you all so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed, and hopefully I will see you all here next time.